Nardo called his homeboy, let him know I'm on the way to come and grab you real quick. Homeboy said, all right, that's a bet. I'm waiting on you. When Nardo get over there, he tell his homeboy, man, you drive for me so I can, you know what I mean? His homeboy drive over there, park by the mailbox, they back in. Nardo see who he looking for walking to his car. He walk over to the man, and before the man can get in his car, Nardo pulled a weapon on him. Tell the man, get up, give me everything. The man began undressing, doing what the robbery is supposed to do, giving it all up. He give everything up, give up the pants. He take off his shoes. Nardo homeboy grabbing all the stuff that he collecting. When they get everything that they come for, they walking back to Nardo car. For whatever reason, Nardo turned around and fired several shots into the car. He hit the man in the arm. The bullet goes through the arm, through the side, hit a lung, and the man died. The man died. Nardo also died that day. Good morning. Welcome back to Who Wanna Life Sentence. I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me. Come spend a little time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit the Cash App if you can. If not, it's all good. Just enjoy the story with your ugly ass. And I want to say, man, I read every comment. Most times I make a comment back that really do be me responding. And I just really want to say I'm overwhelmed by the love that you guys show. I really appreciate it. It's my every intention to keep going. And, like I said, I really appreciate the positive response to the videos. I look back at some of the old videos when I started this thing, and you can see how, it goes a little bit better. It goes a little bit better. So, like I said, shout out to y'all, all y'all in the comment section. Thank y'all for the comments and all that. All right. So we still on the juvenile days, man. Today I'm gonna talk about Ronaldo. Oh, that hand itching. Some of y'all might know what that means. We're talking about Ronaldo. So Ronaldo, if you guys have ever known, Ronaldo is one of the kind of guys that, y'all ever met someone who was too smart for their own good? I'm talking about smart now. Smart. Understand something. Being smart. So like everything is like a two-headed snake. You can be smart and you can be smart for good. You can be smart and you can be smart for evil. So no matter what you got going on, like if you creative, if you smart, if you a genius, the person that created the bomb was a genius. Right? You see what I'm saying? So you can use your intelligence or any other gifts that you have to go either way. And so Ronaldo was one of those kind of guys, man, that was actually a little bit too smart for himself. Another thing I noticed is a lot of the guys that got locked up while we were young that didn't do a lot of time, for some reason, man, they would end up back in a bad situation with a lot of time. I don't know, how that, saying like some of the guys that did decent time, I would call my time decent. I did 10 years. A lot of guys that did decent time, 8 years, 12 years, 15 years, they'll get out and pretty much, stay away from the stuff that'll put them back in there. But the guys that pretty much caught a break or, went home fairly early, some kind of way, they always fought their way back in there. You know what I mean? So, again, man, when I met Ronaldo, he had a charge, and it was just like the rest of ours, one of the deadly sins. It was robbery and probably some more stuff. And some kind of way, Ronaldo caught a break. I don't know how it is, but it was like he didn't get what the rest of us got. He got a lot of probation time and like maybe time served for maybe 2 or 3 years that he had completed, with the majority of it being in the DeKalb County Jail in the juvenile system, with the rest of us. I'm talking smart guy, man. Smart guy. You could tell he was, pretty much self-sufficient. Always been kind of heavy set. To my knowledge, he could defend himself also. Not a pushover, would probably even be considered a bully. You know what I'm saying? So while we in juvenile, Ronaldo, one thing I remember about Ronaldo is my name. So my name is White Boy, and I get the name because I got green eyes, which, both of my parents are black. So it would be, kind of rare for a person to just have green eyes, which I adopted the name White Boy. Now, the thing about that is when I was coming up, that's something that they would call me to piss me off. If we got into a fight or something, they would call me like, "You little white boy." And it would always make me mad. All the way up to the time when I got to the county jail, and I was only 14 then, in some kind of way it even followed me then. And even when someone would say it, it would piss me off. And matter of fact, we were getting ready to go to school one day, and Ronaldo said it to me. He was like, "Little white boy." And I looked at him, I gave him one of them mean looks like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. And he was like, "Bro, what wrong with you?" Again, like, I don't like that. And he like, "Man, that name Player." I'm like, "Huh?" He like, "Bruh," he like, "the name really Player. I don't see why you don't like it." He was like, "If everybody already called me that, the name really kind of Player." So Ronaldo is really the reason why I actually adopted the name that they would call me to piss me off, to make me angry. So that's one of the things that I remember about Ronaldo. And like I said, he was pretty charismatic, type of guy. I remember him and my homeboy Tony had an altercation, man. Him and Tony got into it about whatever. I can't remember quite what it was, but Tony, I remember when Tony would be looking at him, because we would be through doors and windows, glasses that locked and everything. But when Tony would be looking at him, when they were mad at each other, Tony would, like, we call it mugging, which is staring at a person with the angry look, like mad dogging. So Tony mugging him through the glass, and when Nardo saw Tony mugging, he just made a joke out of it. He ran and got up under the table, act like he was, trying to get small as he can, and he peeked back to see if Tony's still looking, and it was funny. We all laughed because Tony was dead serious. You know what I mean? If it's a problem, it's an issue, I'm going to show you what it is. And Ronaldo was making a joke clearly because he thought he could probably whoop Tony. He probably thought Tony, he probably thought Tony wasn't much competition when it came to, the battling. He was bigger than Tony, and he looked to be more experienced. You know what I mean? So when we go to education, We stay in education about 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll have a break, a 15-minute break. Once in the break, they'll take us to, it's a holding tank, like right outside the education room that has a bathroom in it. So if anyone has to use a bathroom, we could do that. That's why they take us to the holding tank. We go to the holding tank, and again, it's everybody. It's all the juveniles that's in there. So it's already understood, Tony and Nard got a problem. Man, we get in there, they lock the door, go on about their business, and Tony and Nard square off. Now, Tony got some like funny kind of style where like his hands weren't up by his face, but I think Nardo kept inching closer to him because they getting ready to fight. And I don't know, man, some kind of way Tony let off like some punch that you just could not see coming. It was hard to see even from the side. But it hit Nard square, and almost like a long uppercut, like, you know what I mean? But coming from the side, so like, he never saw it coming. And I mean, just a small daze, any kind of, anything where you had to shake it off, Tony was already coming with another one. And, he was able to get his thing on, and end up getting the best of Nard, man. End up, even after the fight, Nard didn't feel like it was like a real loss. It was maybe like lost a round, but a situation where it's like, all right, cool, you got that, let go again. You got your little lucky punch in or whatever, let's go again. And but they were never able to get in. So, and that was one of the times that actually, helped boost Tony to the fighter that he is, because he actually became a hell of a fighter. So like I said, that was Nard, man. I'm saying Nard, N-A-R-D, what we called him, Nardo. And Nardo ended up going home, doing this thing, and we never heard from him again. So let me say this. A couple of things become apparent even as I sit here and look them up. And I'm gonna be honest, man, it's so sad. Like, even when I type in his name and pull him up, one of the things that come up is Facebook. And if you go on Facebook, the last picture that was posted was like 2013. 2013. So you got to think, in my mind anyway, I think that's the last time a person might have had real tangible contact with the outside world, to post a picture. I don't know how it is anymore, but maybe if you're not really game savvy or don't have a lot of money and you can't get to a cell phone while you're in prison, or the prison that you at is real strict on the cell phone activity, you may just be lost in the sauce. So all the pictures that I actually see of him are like teenage pictures or young adult, nothing as a grown man. That's sad. And any pictures of as a grown man are in corrections. Okay, so even after reading all of this on Mr. Phillips, like I said, the things become apparent. You know what I mean? Pretty much too smart for his own good. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil. I'm willing to bet you, if any one of you sat down or anyone sat down and talked to this guy, they would be convinced of Chuck Hudson. Thank you, man, for the subscription. They would be convinced of that he is a very, very probably over-intelligent guy. But this is how it happens. So what I'll do is, because honestly, I only know him when I met him in DeKalb County Jail, and again, that's where he was for being charged as an adult for, some more crimes. Hence for what I said earlier, you know what I mean? But check this out. Now, this is called, I'm gonna put this up for y'all. It's called The Untold Story of Ronaldo Phillips. I'm gonna put it up for y'all though. This case was unsolved for 4 years. It took place August 17th, 2002. After taping off the crime scene for fingerprints and evidence, a shell was found and stated to be from a .22 caliber gun. In 2002, the fingerprints was processed by the ASDS system and the identification card having no match. The only matching fingerprints found were the victims, and all other fingerprints were unsuitable to be compared. At 16 years of age, Ronaldo was charged as an adult for telling his young male friend to put his foot on the brake and back the car up, as they got from a car they got from a couple in 1998 at gunpoint. Now that would be the crime that they committed when, like I said, when I met them. I committed my crime in 1998. The guy with the gun was charged with armed robbery, which is not Ronaldo. His charges were dropped to 10 years probation, 5 years time served. Hold on, I knew who was with. Oh, that must have been Claude. And I remember Claude too. That's was his co-defendant. He came over in our part. His charges were dropped to 10 years probation, 5 years time served. And I think he went to Alto too, but he went straight to PC. His punk ass didn't want to go to general population. He was scared. Ronaldo received the same charge for armed robbery with 10 years probation and 3 years time served. Now I'm gonna be honest, that was a blessing. For these heavy charges and for the things that happened, that was a blessing. That was a time to take your lick, get out, turn your life around, to know that the fire is hot and just go ahead and be a normal criminal. Again, this can work in reverse because now you've also had a taste of the fire, so you feel like it wasn't that hot. You know what I mean? It ain't so bad. If I can figure out how to get around this, and this, then I can stay out of that. And that's how it ends. That's how it ends up happening. His fingerprints were already in the ASDS system. In 1998, the prosecutor was Noah Pines. This is interesting. In 1998, the prosecutor was Noah Pines. So, one of the things that I wanted to point out is it said in 1998, the prosecutor was Noah Pines. All right, that's the prosecutor prosecuting him. And you also have a girl who's claiming to be his baby mom, and she's turning on him. Guys, this what comes with the street. I'm gonna be honest. This what comes with the street. When you in the street, it's gonna be some of your close people will turn on you for whatever reason. And when it comes to girls, a lot of times we can put that kind of anger and frustration in them, and it's hard to separate, our personal life from what you got going on with them. So if you selling dope and cheating on your girlfriend, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a hard situation because If you happen to go to jail for something crazy, you call her like, baby, come get me out. You know what she gonna say? Call that bitch, come get you out. You know what I mean? Or she might not answer the phone, or she might take the opportunity to, hit your safe while you in there, or whatever the situation gonna be. You see what I'm saying? So while you doing dirt, you would really have to be really, really good to your star player. As we can see, these built up demons done call her to call the police, whether or not she was his baby mama or not. You know what I mean? She's ready to betray him. Betrayal is part of the street action. The betrayal, you know what I mean? So let's get one thing understood. Your homie gonna hit your girl. You know what I mean? If it could be one of your best homies, it might just be one of your acquaintances. But it's going to be somebody familiar who, actually pull up and, take on what you left behind. Depending on how you look at it, they not going to be wrong. It's not wrong. Everybody deserves to be loved, right? If you left your girl out here to do this, you know what I mean? Or whatever. We ain't even got to go there. I'll just say this. It happened to me. It happened to me. I went to jail, and a guy that I was supposed to be all right with, he pulled up. It is what it is. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. Let's keep going. All right, so now this is a letter actually from Ronaldo himself. And I wouldn't imagine that it would be a bad thing for me to going through this, because they put it on the internet, right? I mean, you wanted exposure. And it could possibly help the situation if what Ronaldo is saying is true. My name is Ronaldo Phillips. I am currently serving 2 consecutive life sentences for crime I did not commit. Let's start right there. It's, I'm not the one to call anyone a liar. We'll put it like that, right? But from my, I've been in some tough situations, some real tough situations, and I know what it is to take the route like, I'm being falsely accused, or, y'all got the wrong man. I don't have a record of this. No one saw this, whatever the situation, and can dress it up real nice to make it sound real decent. But, that's heavy. 2 life sentences, consecutive. Do y'all know what that means? So you got consecutive, and then you got concurrent. If you have 2 life sentences running concurrent, that means they running together. Like if you have 10 years, if you got 2 charges, you got armed robbery, you got aggravated assault. You get 10 years for armed robbery, 10 years for aggravated assault, and they run concurrent. You only do 10 years because they running together side by side. At the end of the 10 years, you've served both sentences. If you get them consecutive, that means they one in front of the other. Once you finish with one, you start the other one. So 2 consecutive life sentences means once he finished the first life sentence, he would have to begin the second one. All right, let's get that out the way. All right, now in Georgia, under the old law, when I was doing time, if you had a life sentence and was eligible for parole, that eligibility didn't start until you had completed 30 years. 30 years. I'm also about to do a video on my homeboy, man. This is his 30th year. This is his 30th year. Been gone since he was 14 years old. 14. We ain't gonna go there. 30 years. So had his situation been this situation, then he would be starting a new 30 now. So anyway, my trial lawyer was attorney Glenzel. I am concerned that my appellate counsel, Noah Pines, was negligent. I believe there is a conflict of interest due to the fact that he was the prosecutor on a previous case concerning me. According to the prosecution, I committed an armed robbery March 17, 2002 and August 17, 2002 to the same victim. His lawyer for his appeal is the same person who convicted him at the time that I knew him. Now, I would agree that this is a conflict of interest, but I would also say that this is a situation that you put yourself in. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's easy to get in, but it's really, really hard to get out. And, you know, for me, it would be like being put inside of like a washing machine. You know, it's just bouncing. It's just chaos. There's no real structure. And I'm talking about the process of trying to get out, the process of trying to untangle this mess is like this right here. Because again, the lawyer who's representing you for your appeal to appeal the bad decision is the same prosecutor who convicted you earlier. So in my mind, they would think that this person already thinks I'm a bad person. They probably didn't go too hard on that appeal. Anyway, this is the life you've subjected yourself to. He says, there is such a great weight that an error in the law and facts will cause me to die here. While I was convicted before the 30-year law, I was sentenced in its regard. Also, poor representation has caused me to be impaired in my defense. That's heavy. I understand that the habeas corpus courts will not allow me to retry the case. So if this is indeed the truth, how does the law provide for people who are convicted of crimes that occur at a time when they had an inadequate attorney and subsequently had an effective appellate attorney? Again, I understand that the habeas corpus courts will not allow me to retry the case. So 2 consecutive life sentences, no retrial. The evidence was never provided to defense counsel and relevant documents were disregarded, and it constitutes of denial of the rights to defend myself, where from the very people that I sworn to protect has failed, using my prior history to convict me. So guys, again, I only knew Nardo for a brief moment. He went to prison before I did, and before I got to prison, he had already went home. So according to this, he went home and, you know, I want to say started a life of crime because, you know, he undone 3 years. So that was the end of the life of crime. You know, it's a fresh start. So you go home and started a life of crime.
What you think?
I like it.
Do you?
I put dick in you.
That don't mean nothing, maybe.
Maybe it definitely do. What do you mean? I'm very choosy. I'm very choosy. Oh, I was live too. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry, that's my wife. So we'll edit that, moderators. See, now everybody knows. Everybody know how much I love you. I'm gonna be honest. It's the small things that you deny yourself when you in there. You know, just even like something like that. Now, do you know what they gonna do to you if you tell a female you gonna put dick on her? Boy, you going down. That's what I mean. You deny yourself the small, simple right just to talk dirty, a good dirty, to a person that belonged to you. You traded that for men. Appellant's co-indictee, who had pled guilty to robbing the victim, testified that appellant drove to the co-indictee's house on the day the victim was killed and asked the co-indictee to drive appellant in appellant's vehicle to an apartment complex. It goes on to say more. Basically, but I read that because this your friend, this your homeboy. I would assume that you guys have done, more than this together, but your friend became your co-indictee and he testified. So guys, I'm gonna let this one go right here, man. There's one of my homeboys that didn't make it. They got him buried under a pile of time. That's a hell of a fight. That's what you call a fight for your life. That's literally what you call a fight for your life. I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me. I got more coming soon. Like, share, subscribe, hit the cash app. I appreciate y'all for coming. I'll see you on the next one.